Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for you today. So we're back in the usual setup. Now, with regards to Intel, we have some exciting news, especially if you're a long-term shareholder and you've gone through the pain of holding this stock through the downturn. Now, of course, there's still a lot of work to do when it comes to the turnaround of this whole giant company. But in today's video, we're going to discuss the GPU side of things and a potential participation in the ARM IPO, as well as the new expanded market that Intel is playing in. And you've probably seen this in the thumbnail already. It's opening up around $500 billion worth of total addressable market. So let's jump right into this. So first up, we have this headline right here. This was 6 days ago. Desktop GPU sales lowest in decades. But of course, Nvidia continued to dominate in Q2 2023 amid inventory correction. Now, you might say, well, this is a negative headline. How is this positive for Intel? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, first of all, despite this extreme weak quarter, it says here that Intel continued to gain share with its discrete Arc Alchemist GPUs and now controls 4% of the market. Now, 4% is not a lot, especially not if we scroll even further down. You can see this right here. The bigger picture will be on the screen. Now, as you can see in the last 3 quarters, Nvidia went from 87% to 84%, AMD went from 10 to 12%, and Intel went from 3 to 2 and then now doubled its market share. But of course, it's still nowhere near the levels of Nvidia. Nvidia shipped approximately 5.29 million discrete graphics processors, AMD distant second with 760,000, and then Intel just 250,000. But we've also had, and this is something that was leaked already in January, Intel's Arc GPU roadmap. So 2 Battlemage GPUs are coming in 2024. And now with the positive momentum that the current GPUs, the Arc Alchemist already has right now, remember, it started very slowly. The software was a bit buggy. They updated the software and right now it's gaining a lot of momentum. Expect that to continue in 2024. And to be honest, it's great to have a third big player in that market because you don't want Nvidia to have the whole market when it comes to GPU, because then you'll have to buy those GPUs at crazy prices. Now, if you're enjoying this type of video so far, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, I would really appreciate that. And if you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Now let's talk about the ARM IPO. Remember, ARM and Intel have been long time competitors, different architectures. But according to this report here from Bloomberg, ARM courts Intel as anchor investor in upcoming IPO. So SoftBank-backed ARM is in talks with Intel and other companies. ARM is seeking to raise as much as $10 billion in IPO. Now, if we scroll further, we get a little bit more information here. So a key part of Intel's CEO, Pat Gelsinger, push to return the company to the pinnacle of the semiconductor industry is a plan to open up its factories to other firms, even rivals. If he's to be successful in competing with Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, TSMC, in outsourced production, Intel will have to produce chips that contain ARM's widely used technology. And by the way, this is not the first time we've heard ARM and Intel talk with each other. Back in April, we had this report that Intel will work with ARM to boost its outsourced production efforts. So Intel is trying to win customers as a provider of outsourced chip manufacturing, is working with ARM to potentially use that company's technology in its factories. The agreement announced on Wednesday, which was back in April, will allow designers of mobile phone chips to use Intel as a manufacturer for a production technique called 18A. The 2 companies will focus on so-called mobile system on chips design first, but later may expand into automotive components, data centers, aerospace, and other areas, according to a joint statement. This is a huge deal for the foundry business of Intel. Remember, we've talked about Nvidia potentially also utilizing Intel in the future. Remains to be seen. Again, it's all great when we hear this news, we talk about rumors and leaks, etc. But at the end of the day, you want to see continued execution. Right now, we have the first step, which is announcements, promising results, promises here and there. That's all great. But I would like to see execution. Execution is key, because if execution is lacking, this doesn't mean anything. Now continuing here with regards to ARM, so by taking a position in ARM, whose technology has enabled direct competition for Intel's processors, Gelsinger may be seeking to show his commitment to ARM and to embracing that openness. Throughout its more than 50-year history, Intel plans have almost exclusively worked on its own designs. So Intel talks to become a potential strategic investors in ARM's upcoming IPO underlines the chip giant's goal of becoming a key foundry for the fabless semiconductor sector and bringing back leading-edge manufacturing to the United States. This is despite a direct rivalry between Intel chips and ARM-based processors. It follows an Intel-ARM technical tie-up in April, which we just talked about, if combined with a strategic stake, could position Intel as a maker of chips designs on ARM architecture. Of course, if it will take part in the IPO and ARM continues to be successful, Intel gains from that as well. And now last thing here we had in IDC Analysis, so Intel expands market opportunities. The new study predicts Intel's 2027 serviceable addressable market at $500 billion. So according to a study providing a comprehensive look at the steps Intel is taking to reposition the company to provide solutions that supply larger, higher growth markets, the industry research firm's analysis shows Intel has increased its serviceable addressable market, or SAM, I said TAM, but this is SAM, by 45% since it began its business unit reorganization. IDC predicts Intel's SAM to grow at 7.2% compound annual growth rate through 2027 to reach $500 billion. Now, of course, this is serviceable addressable market. You still have to serve them and reach that. Now we have here a comment by Intel Senior Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer. We have been methodically executing to reposition Intel into higher growth opportunities with foundry, discrete GPUs, AI accelerators, and others, and away from low growth segments including memory, connected home, and cellular modems. We are pleased with the progress of our IDM 2.0 strategy and remain on track to regain technical and manufacturing leadership and to become a major provider of foundry capacity. This is going to be very, very crucial. Foundry here is a very crucial component of the future of Intel. If that fails, well, the investments for me is not worth it. And so with all this news, of course, the stock gained some momentum, especially this week. This is on a weekly chart. We see a big green candle here. Of course, very important. This is above the 200-day moving average. If you look at the RSI, still pretty okay there. MACD finally over the zero line, has been bullish for a while, but right now we're over the zero line. So all in all, the stock is gaining some momentum, but of course I'll keep repeating the same again and again. I'd like to see continued execution, especially throughout 2023. Now, when it comes to AI, data centers, etc., we know fully well that NVIDIA is leading the pack by a wide margin. But I'd like to see what Intel can do this year. Do they have something up their sleeves? Can they maybe produce better numbers than expected? We know that revenue-wise for next quarter, we'll probably meet or maybe even beat a little bit. We've talked about that in the last video. But let's see how each segment of the business is performing. So that will be it for this video. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.